They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness.
What's going on, everybody? You are watching, you are listening to the Matt Madness Network live on YouTube. I'm your host, Alo and Roy. Clap it up, clap it up. Thank you. All right, so Eric's on vacation. Well, actually, he's not on vacation. He's back from vacation. I hope he had a great time. But he is currently watching the World Cup and rooting for Colombia. So, salute to Eric in Colombia. All right, so there's not much going on in the world this week, but well, other than that, first of all, Jay lost her fitted on SmackDown.
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
But that's small potatoes. We're gonna get to the real thing. The motherfucker Knicks won the NBA championship. Yeah. Oh man, let me tell you, it was beautiful watching the Knicks win the NBA. Oh my god, because it was Brunson.
What?
It was Hart.
What?
It was Bridges.
What?
It was OG.
What?
It was Cat.
What?
It was Mitch Robinson.
What?
More Brunson.
What?
And more Brunson.
What?
It was beautiful to see. If you are a New York fan, then you definitely have to feel for that. And this man right here is the real MVP. Danhausen, probably the biggest thing out of the WWE ESPN collaboration. Who would have thought that this would have got a bunch of legs and this would get the Knicks to the championship and win the championship at that? But it was so fun for New Yorkers to see. The only thing I did not like was the fake fans who I've never seen talk about hoops ever just come out the window. Booyah. So, but it was wonderful. Like, even if you're just from New York, you kind of have some kind of affinity for the Knicks, especially growing up in the city of New York, in Brooklyn. In my opinion, basketball is number one for us. You know, there's a hoop, there's a park with a basketball court in pretty much every other block for it to an extent. And then we're all pretty much having to watch the local team, which is the Knicks. We didn't get Yes Network till years later, and the Nets, they've been up and down. But the Knicks, no matter what, the Knicks will always be number one for New Yorkers. And we cannot help but to be happy to see our city finally win after the pain and suffering that New York fans went through. I talked about it a few weeks ago about how awful James Dolan is. Well, James Dolan, he's on a high horse, but bump him. He gets no love from me. But the decisions from the Jeff Van Gundy walkout, Antonio McDyess trade, Don Chaney, Isaiah Thomas years, the Larry Brown year, the Melo trade that destroyed the team's roster because he was coming anyway, the impatience, the Charles Oakley incident. It was just a lot that New York Knicks fans went through. And to finally see us win a championship is something that I think that everybody is so excited about. Knicks championship merch is making headlines, making records on Fanatics. I love to see it. I love to see the city. The parade is actually tomorrow. I can't wait to see the clips from that. But from what we did get today, and I have not watched this yet, but we're going to watch it together. And we got the real MVP, Danhausen. He appeared on Stephen A. Smith's show today. So we're going to watch that, and we're going to see what Danhausen had to say, because like I said, Danhausen might be the real MVP of this entire thing. Fair use.
Usually I don't like this kind of stuff, but I got to admit, he's grown on me. I like him, okay? A matter of fact, I'm going to take it back. I don't like him. I love him. because he had a lot to do with the New York Knicks. You understand? Ending this 53-year drought, okay? He is my next guest. He is a WWE superstar known for his eccentric, heavily stylized character that blends horror aesthetics with absurdist, deadpan comedy. He's the one that lifted the curse. And the New York Knicks 53-year championship drought has come to an end. The one and only Danhausen is in the house. My brother, how are you?
Oh, we're calling it a truce, huh?
Yes, it's a truce.
What a truce?
It's a truce. You get it.
Based on the Knicks winning.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Until next season, maybe you owe me a little bit more money.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I'll need more money next season.
You never brought up money. That's not.
I bring up money all the time.
You. That's not you. You don't need that.
I don't need money.
WWE.
And shout out to Danhausen again, because I talked about who would have thought that this would be probably one of the most popular things in wrestling, and now he's getting like so much attention, even on Raw Monday night. Liv Morgan, top 5 DOA, goes out and tries to get Danhausen to curse Oba for Dom. And salute to Danhausen for not folding, because 99.9% would have folded to Liv Morgan.
Lord have mercy.
So let's continue.
Money.
WWE.
Yeah, they give me some. You give me some. The Fanhausens give me some. It's great.
They print money.
I print money.
You print.
I print money.
So why do you need money from me if you print it?
Because I want more.
But you print it.
What's better than some money, but more? I want some of your money.
But you print it.
Yeah, but I like yours.
You understand? But even if it was mine, it's money you printed.
Yeah, this is true, I guess. Anyway, the point is, we are in a truce now.
That's right.
Because
Danhausen,
yes, we're truce, back to square one.
That's right.
We're
good.
Whatever.
No, it actually is better than square one because the Knicks are champions.
This is true.
You wanted that to happen?
Yes.
I wanted that to happen.
Yes.
We're simpatico. We're brothers now.
That's right.
We're brothers now.
Because we cursed. They lost 2 games. We uncursed 13-0.
That's right.
They lost one. We won't talk about that.
That's
That wasn't my fault. That was your fault.
Trump. That was Trump. That's Trump. That wasn't me. That was Donald Trump. That was Donald Trump.
I didn't say it.
Wait a minute. You're supposed to be the almighty, the all-powerful Danhausen.
Well,
are you scared of the president? You scared to say what I said?
No.
You sure?
Danhausen's powers can only go so far.
I mean, it should go further than the White House. You should be all right. Well, you should be scared.
Yes.
If I'm not scared of the president, why are you going to be scared of the president?
Oh, Danhausen's not afraid, but I'm just saying sometimes those powers get blocked. Every once in a while, one will come across and block it.
Okay.
That night it got blocked.
All right.
But after that, though, we'll ignore that one. We'll go past because they won.
That's right.
And also, you've probably touched on it many times.
Yes.
Danhausen's been reading. Oh, they analytically lost this. They got dominated in this.
That was Atkinson, the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was an idiotic thing for him to say as a coach.
I don't think they accidentally won 13 games in a row.
That's right.
I don't think they accidentally won a championship.
Did you curse Kenny Atkinson, the head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Would you want me to?
No, I don't want you to.
Okay.
What I'm asking is that a coach coming out down 3-0 saying, analytically, we're actually up 2-1. I mean, to say something as asinine as that, it seems like he was cursed that something forced him to say something like that.
Well, I have a simple question for all of these teams who will not give the Knicks
analytically, they won the NBA championship. Let's continue.
Credit and have excuses for why they've lost or why they've won. Did you win? No, you didn't win. So guess who the better team is? The Knicks.
Do you believe you're responsible for the New York Knicks winning the championship?
I would say it is a team effort. You know, you've got everyone on the team. You've got Danhausen kind of on the team of some sort. Cursing, I'm a good luck charm.
Okay.
We'll say that.
A good luck charm for whom?
We'll say the Knicks.
All right.
50-50.
Did you see what Jalen Brunson said about you?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
All right, guys. So
Expedia is the place to bundle and save on flights, hotels, and cars.
This is what Jalen Brunson had to say about Danhausen.
The Knicks, you guys won every single game. Jalen, I know that you are a WWE fan. Did this have something to do with it as well?
At first, I was more skeptical, but I mean, you have to believe it now.
Okay, yeah, now you gotta believe it.
You have to believe it now.
It did work. There's a
All right, so that's what Big Body Brunson, Clutch, Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson had to say about Danhausen. So let's continue back to Danhausen talking to Stephen A.
That's right.
Now he believes it.
Now he believes.
I think the whole team believes it. Though.
You think the whole team?
I think the whole team believes it.
So,
but they're tremendous athletes.
Okay. So
a team.
You know what that means? That means they consider you a part of the team.
Oh.
Does that mean you'll betray them? That you'll one day turn around and curse them?
No.
Are you going to embrace the fact that now
you're
a part of the family and you can't say things about them?
No. So here's what I heard you on an interview say. You'd graciously give up the ring. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just give it to me then. I don't care. I'll graciously take the ring. So I'll take a ring and I'll take one of those, when they give you a one-day contract and then you can retire.
Right.
That's it. There, I'm on the team. I'll retire my jersey up in MSG, the world's most famous arena, world's most famous wrestler. Great.
Can you guarantee a Knicks championship next year?
I can't guarantee anything.
I mean, wait a minute. The powers that be. Can you guarantee?
We're going to give Danhausen everything he wants. We're going to give Danhausen the super max with all the human monies, a ring, a jersey, and the Raptors. Give that man whatever he wants. Let's continue.
That anybody who goes up against the Knicks, bad luck will befall upon them because you are Knicks. You're all in. Can you do that?
So here's what I'll say. It's going to be mostly the same team next year. It's going to be some trades probably here and there.
Yeah, but mostly the same team.
Mostly same team. I think we've got a shot. I think we can go 2-0. 2 in a row. Yeah. That's not 2-0, but 2 in a row. Yeah, I think it can be done. Because like I said, this team plays like a team. I think that's their biggest strength is that I think other teams rely on, one person, two people. And yes, Brunson is great, but I think it is also everyone else on the team. You've got Cat, you've got everyone.
Danhausen of the WWE right here with Stephen A. Sirius XM Mad.
So Danhausen has a real point here. That Knicks team, they were a well-run unit. And when they needed to make plays in Game 5, because I want to say this, Dylan Harper is a rising star in the NBA. His defense on Jalen Brunson was physical and fantastic. I thought the Spurs did an excellent job in the first 3.5 quarters defending the Knicks and and forcing them into tough shots. Brunson was almost a one-man show, but when the role players needed to show up and when Jalen Brunson needed to deliver in the clutch, he did. So let's continue.
Is it true that you carry around a jar of teeth?
Yes, I don't have it on me. I left it in the car.
Why in the hell would you do that? And why should anybody trust somebody walking around with a jar of teeth?
Well, have I led them astray so far?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I haven't checked your record across the board. I know with the New York Knicks you're doing well.
Yes, Joe,
but I haven't checked your record across the board.
I am undefeated in WWE. I swept the Miz the same time that the Knicks were sweeping the Cavaliers, both from Cleveland, by the way. So, I carry a jar of teeth that are my enemy's teeth. Sometimes I pour them in my other enemy's teeth and I kick them. It is a nice visual sensation for the crowd.
Ew.
Yeah, you
Where
kick
did
them
this
in the mouth.
fascination come from? Where did this come from?
What? I like it. It's fun.
I'm just saying, but to think of it, who thought of it? How did it come about? How did it come about?
Oh, it came from my good brain.
So you guys know that I'm a Stephen A. fan. Hence the name, if anybody's been here a while, Stephen A-Lo is what they will call me. But you guys know that I wanted no part of Stephen A. in my wrestling because when he would talk wrestling on First Take, I was not for it. But him and Danhausen, I think they have terrific chemistry. They vibe off each other very well. And I'm perfectly fine with this involvement of Stephen A. in WWE. So let's continue.
You ever do that? You're doing it right now.
I'm doing it right now.
Thinking about some stuff. How'd you come up with this television show?
Well, it's a television show, not a jar of teeth.
Wow. Well, it's the same thing.
You said that you're the most popular WWE, wrestler, whatever. Do you call yourself a wrestler?
I call myself a wrestler. I
Do you
defeated the Miz.
do you believe that you're the most popular in the world?
All right. So that was Stephen A. and Danhausen on the Stephen A. Smith show. We'll leave it there at that point. But I think Danhausen, he's had a fantastic run in WWE. I did not expect him to be what he actually was in WWE. I could have cared less about him in AEW, but he's definitely done his job in WWE. And I'm really entertained by everything he does. Like I said, this couldn't have been any better for Danhausen, especially with the Knicks winning. And now everybody's going to put him in the position that he's like really powerful because things actually do happen. And this was a real life thing, not something scripted happened. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about Danhausen being the real MVP of the New York Knicks NBA Finals championship run. Now, this coming week on SmackDown, we have something interesting here. We have undisputed championships going to be on the line. Cody Rhodes is going to defend against Gunther. And the interesting stipulation that Gunther chose was Sami Zayn being the referee. Now, Gunther played this very well. He was calm about it and just said, you know what? I need somebody to call us right down the middle. I need somebody who's a veteran in this business. I need Sami Zayn. So we get so Gunther makes Sami Zayn the referee, which is, like I said, pure genius because of what's going on with Sami Zayn. With Sami Zayn right now, we kind of have Sami Zayn kind of crashing out to an extent. Him and Cody Rhodes, they had an altercation on SmackDown. They both end up slapping each other in the face. And it's like, you know what? I got my lick back. You got yours. We're even now. What's going on? And now it's like, all right, what's going to happen in the match? And this couldn't have gone any better for Gunther in his decision-making to have Sami Zayn be the referee in the match. Now, so many things can go. This can go many ways. You know, we have Night of Champions coming up next Saturday night. This could end up potentially being a triple threat match between the two. But I do think that the whole Sami Zayn thing adds some intrigue. And I was talking about that last week about what's going on with Cody and how can they make Cody actually interesting. And this is something that they can actually do here because this is probably one of the more interesting things that they've actually done. You know, Sami Zayn, he has been trying to find himself, and Cody even talked about that in his promo, that Sami Zayn's been kind of funny, and he's been complaining for the last few months, and the crowd's actually booing him because that's not the Sami Zayn that they all actually know. And they said they got physical, and now we have the match, and now what is Sami Zayn going to do? Is Sami Zayn going to call this match right down the middle? Sami Zayn did interact with Cody and Adam and Nick Aldis backstage when Cody was talking to him. And Sami says, you know what? I don't know if I'm all right. And that leaves a lot of intrigue. And Gunther could not be any happier when it comes to that. Now he's chopping at the bit to actually see what's going to happen between these two. And like I said, this is probably the best thing WWE can actually do. Like now Gunther, he has not been booked the best since the whole John Cena thing because coming out that John Cena thing and then retiring AJ Styles, we thought that we would get some huge monster hero from Gunther, and we really haven't. You know, we had the match with him with Seth Rollins. That was fantastic at WrestleMania, but he's been essentially directionless for the most part since that big December and January between John Cena and AJ Styles. Now the question is, do they put the title on him right here and right now? I personally think that Gunther will win the championship on SmackDown Friday night. I do, and I think it will be because of Sami Zayn. And then I think until SummerSlam, actually SummerSlam is the next paper after Night of Champions. After Night of Champions, there's no PLE until SummerSlam. So I do think Gunther will win the match, and maybe we potentially get that triple threat going into SummerSlam or an episode of SmackDown. But I do think Gunther is primed to win the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes because of Sami Zayn. You know, this was Gunther's call. This was Gunther being smart about the situation. Nick Aldis even said, look, Cody, there's lawyers involved in this situation. So we have to see what's going to happen. But I do think that Gunther will defeat Cody Rhodes with the help of Sami Zayn to become the WWE champion. And Gunther needs it because, like I said, Gunther has essentially done nothing over the last few months, hasn't had much to do. Said the WrestleMania match was great, but he hasn't had anything meaningful and has not felt like that monster heel that he was brought out to be with ending the careers of John Cena and AJ Styles. So I look for Gunther to win the WWE Championship here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So next up, welcome to the family, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is given a Fala by Roman Reigns. And so we had an interesting development between the entire family because Jacob essentially tells Roman, look, I listen to my tribal chief. I don't listen to the Usos. And that is the interesting part of it because, Jacob does not bang with Jey whatsoever. And now there was an interaction with Eric Andre where he was dapping up everybody. He dapped up Roman, promoting the Netflix movie. Jey wanted no parts. Jimmy's all about it. And Eric Andre, he touches the Fala on Jacob, and Jacob immediately throws him over the barricade and destroys him, thanks to Roman Reigns, who first told him no, but then gave him the okay to go do it.
Acknowledge me.
And then later on in the night, we had Jacob Fatu. He destroyed LA Knight. And again, Jimmy trying to be the more calm one. Jay's continuing to crash out. And this is very, very interesting. I know I was one that had a bunch of bloodline fatigue, but this actually shows some intrigue. So I'm not against this because I think this is going to make Jacob a bigger star because we all know us sick, twisted wrestling fans, we love watching people just destroy stuff. And Jacob Fatu being the one that will be able to just destroy everything and everyone because of Roman calling the shots is going to get him more over. Now, the interesting thing is Jimmy as well as Jey going to leave the family? Because the one thing about Jimmy's never left. Jimmy's always trying to be the voice of reason. He even does it when it comes to LA Knight. He did it with Jacob. He's always been the voice of reason. But what's going to happen with Jey? Because Jey is continuing to crash out and lose his mind. Even when Jimmy took out LA Knight, Jimmy was like, "Look, I tried to tell you," and then Jacob Fatu destroys him. And like I said, bloodline fatigue is real, but I think they have something here. And I think this is going to be the thing that benefits Jacob Fatu in the long run. It's not what I wanted for the summer of WWE. I wanted Roman to face these up and newcomers and get a new face of the company. I still think we will get that with Obafemi because I do think Jey will win his King of the Ring match and face Obafemi in the finals. And then we get Obafemi versus Roman, and you would make Obafemi a bigger star. Do my recommendation, and that's have Obafemi face Brock Lesnar night one with his title opportunity on the line against Brock's career, and then he could beat Roman Reigns the following night at Night of Champions. And then from there, you even have Obafemi Jacob Fatu situation, which I think will actually be very intriguing. So there's a lot you could actually do here when it comes to this. And so Obafemi and Jacob Fatu, that's money in the making right there. It really is. It really truly is. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about Jacob Fatu becoming a bigger star with joining Roman Reigns' bloodline. Now, speaking of the bloodline, The Rock's TKO role is in question. The Rock, as you guys know, is on the board of directors for TKO, and with WWE kind of struggling in the creative department, it's brought up a lot of questions like, okay, what does Rock actually do? So one of my favorite shows to actually watch now, and they give a lot of great insight, is the Coach and Bro. Think what you want about Coach and Vince Russo. They, in my opinion, give really good articulate takes. You can call it hate whatever you want, but they are very articulate in what they're actually discussing. And they had D'Lo Brown on their stream, and D'Lo had a discussion with them, and they talked about this.
About the absence of a man who has made $80 to $100 million from TKO. Of course, we're talking about The Rock. You worked very, very closely with him, as did I. And yes, he's very busy with movies and whatnot. But when you have somebody pay you $80 million to be on the board of directors in wrestling, you expect them to at least tweet about the product. What do you make of the fact that the product is where it is, the criticism that it gets, and arguably the biggest star in the world who's connected doesn't seem like he's connected?
Yeah, and when you're making that kind of money, you're a brand ambassador, and you represent the brand that's out there. And you're never no one is too busy where they can't pick up the phone and for 30 seconds write a tweet. No one is that busy. No one is that busy they can't put over the product that's paying them. No one. And so I think the industry needs someone who is as high profile as Rocky, as famous as Rocky, because we need that brand ambassador out there spreading that goodwill of what wrestling is to the mainstream media and to the world. And that's right now is lacking. And then every time he speaks on wrestling, you know, eyeballs go on wrestling, eyeballs that normally would not be watching it. So you need those crossover eyeballs. I don't care who it is. You need those crossover eyeballs. So I would hope that when the time is right, Rocky will come out there and you know, I don't know, do his job.
Let me ask you something though, D'Lo. You know, like knowing Rock, okay?
Yes.
And I think this is a part of it. I don't know. Obviously, I'm just giving you my opinion based on working with the guy and knowing the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like if Rock doesn't believe in the product in his heart of hearts, I think it could be very difficult for him to promote it.
Yes, and that is true. And I will give you that. But there's 80 million reasons why he needs to go out there and talk about it.
I see both sides.
Yeah.
I
see
agree
both
with
sides.
Vince. We talk about this all the time. Yeah, it's just you. What I think at its core, and I've told the story, so I don't need to tell them again because I was in the room with him several times. Him and Triple H simply do not get along, and I think fans believe when they watch Unreal D'Lo. And you hear Triple H go, well, I got to make sure Rock signs off, you know, and then Rock will be like, yeah, Triple H is doing a great job. The cameras are on and they know the cameras are on. And these two, Triple H wanted to do what The Rock has done. And I think at his core, Rock would love for the end of his legacy to be $7, comes back, saves WWE, and Brian Gerwitz eventually takes over for creative. That's what we believe here.
I could see $7 trying to buy WWE, and Rock being owning it all. And yes, let's go back to one more thing you said. Triple H and Rocky don't get along. They're highly competitive, and that's on camera. Now, Paul and Dwayne don't like each other, and they are definitely oil and water. So there's the on-screen angst, and then there's the real backstage angst. And it's not my story to tell. Just know everybody doesn't get along.
And that's all. That's what we don't tell a lot of the backstage stories here, just like you did. But we get so frustrated because we're in this really unique space, D'Lo, is that me and Vince have over 20 years in the WWE. You have a long time too. So we know what it is. It's so hard for me. Is it hard for you when you read something online that you know for a fact, and that's why I've stopped reading not true?
I know the truth. Eventually the truth will always come out. That's what the truth does. And if you see people tweeting stuff or putting stuff out there and you go, man, that shit, I'll call you or I'll call Vince and I'll complain on the phone to you guys because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's as far as it'll go.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
All right. So that was D'Lo, Coach, and Vince Russo about the Rock's TKO role. Now, they didn't say any lies in that case. Now, if you guys want some context, they did mention the name Brian Gewirtz. Brian Gewirtz, he is a writer for The Rock. and a former writer for WWE. Brian Gewirtz, he was a writer on Young Rock and wrote for WWE years ago while The Rock was around. And The Rock talks very highly of Brian Gewirtz. So that, and Brian Gewirtz, he is a writer for Rock's $7 Productions as well. So what they're saying, there's a lot to this. So when it comes to The Rock, one of my favorite quotes from a movie is an American Gangster when Denzel says, "Blue Magic, like Pepsi is a brand name. I guarantee it." I'm paraphrasing a bit. But when we see The Rock's name and the person, The Rock is the brand name. Dwayne Johnson's the guy on the board. He's a busy guy, but as far as him sitting on creative meetings and things like that, and inserting himself into those kind of things, you can't expect that from him. He's just somebody who's on the board who receives a paycheck like anybody else does. You know, he's like, all right, we're doing X, Y, and Z. Is that what's going to make me the most? What's going to make me the most money? These advertisers are coming in. What's going to work? What are we doing here? What are we doing in WrestleMania season? What are we doing at SummerSlam? What's UFC doing? What was I believe they have Zuffa too. What's Zuffa doing? He's on the board of TKO. Dwayne Johnson is. The Rock, the one who sits there, it would tell you this.
Shut up, bitch.
He's not on the board. Dwayne Johnson's on the board. So we can't just sit there and think that The Rock / Dwayne Johnson is going to come in and save WWE creative. Now, they're right. Make $80 million. You can put out a tweet promoting the product. You can't. Everybody has 30 seconds. I'm not one for saying, oh, man, I forgot, or I didn't have time. You had time. You just forgot. Own up to it and just move on and fix it and accept accountability. But they are right about maybe we all know that him and Triple H do not get along. That's been well documented over the years. And maybe he is just like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm just good. I'm just getting rich. I'm getting $80 million. I don't got to send nothing out. But they are right. When he speaks, things happen. When we had the moment with Cena turning the heel at Chamber, the Travis Scott moment, we were all like, all right, what's going on with The Rock? But Rock came out on that interview on the Pat McAfee show. We didn't believe him. But he said the final boss, his job was just to come. And then later we would find out that ticket sales were struggling and they needed to boost the ticket sales, and they threw Rock's name up there. And that's what happens when you have him on the board. You have Dwayne Johnson on the board. It's like, okay, show's struggling. Let's throw The Rock on TV. Because The Rock is going to sell. The Rock moves tickets no matter what he does. He can come out and do anything, and we will watch, react, tweet, comment. We will do all the above. And that's all that he needs to do to spark any kind of intrigue for the product. No matter what, whether we love it or hate it, he garners a reaction from us and a rating. He does. As I said, I agree that he can promote the product. I personally don't care if he does or not, because I just view him as Dwayne Johnson on the board. The Rock is just a brand name. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I said a lot of people were so excited when they saw he was on the board, and I don't blame anybody because the time he did become a member of the board was WrestleMania 40 season, and that was probably the best wrestling storytelling we had in years. maybe since the Attitude Era. That was the most talked about wrestling, was the most it was the most publicly picked up stories that wrestling had. Excuse me. It was the most public thing that everybody was talking about wrestling. All media outlets picked it up. But everybody is right. Anybody's right to question The Rock's role in TKO. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, are WWE using live streams for their storylines now? So recently, Tiffany Stratton, she created her own Twitch channel, and recently she had fellow WWE superstar Blake Monroe on her live stream. And they had a lot of fun, and this is how it started. So we'll show a couple clips from the live stream.
He a banger. Dude, they did eat with that. They did. How'd you get that? How'd you get that?
I sent them Sabrina and Ariana Grande and was like, can you just make this like if they were the same person? And then I said I wanted like a intro bit where I say something, and then I wanted to do the kiss, and then it was like at first, and they were like, that sounds weird. So I did like, Mwah! And then everyone was like, I hate the start. The song's great. And I'm like, oh, well. I don't even know the words to my song.
All right. So that's how the live stream started with them. And also, Tiffany did make mention that WWE, they removed the mirror from her entrance. We don't do that. Y'all trash for that. And this is how the live stream would eventually end.
W Javon in the chat. Really liking what I'm seeing here.
You like the story?
There is a lot of story here. I'm a big,
like the heel time,
Greek poet guy, and this is some real Odysseus, Plato stuff right here. Really like it. You know?
It was. Oh my god, the dog is trying to.
I mean, this is deep.
Yeah. Yes,
this
sir.
Is art.
It is.
And I mean, there is some abstract is a great way to put it. I see a lot of Picasso in this.
Yes. I tried.
Then, lastly, my employer.
See,
beautiful,
bias.
Perfect.
Shut up. Bias.
Shut up. Look at this. To me, it screams sunshine and rainbows and
that's the most
and glamour
aesthetic cake here.
and happiness and
I can't even read it. That's what that says. There's too many colors.
And you know what it screams?
It's got every color in the rainbow.
It screams that she's your employer. This is a.
It screams Tiffy time, and I think today it's Tiffy time. I think.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
Is she leaving? Did she just? End the chat right now. This is bullshit. End the chat right now. Oh my god.
All right. So that was Blake Monroe on Tiffany Stratton's live stream this past weekend. Now, I might be looking a little bit too much into this, but WWE using live streams to create feuds, to progress feuds, I think is actually very interesting. Because as Triple H will always say, one of my favorite lines, Triple H dropped a lot of gems in life. You either adapt or perish. And this is adapting to the times because live streams are one of the biggest things in the world right now. regardless if you like them or not or into them, live streams are real. And Tiffany Stratton has her own live stream. There are other wrestlers that have their own live streams. You can build things from this, collab with each other. This is something that you can actually use, and this could actually benefit your storylines. And the interesting thing about this is because we haven't really gotten Blake Monroe on television yet. So for us, it's just like, all right, we kind of got Blake Monroe a little bit. She keeps having these vignettes and she keeps foreshadowing feuds with Charlotte, Tiffany, Rhea, but we have not. And she also had a thing backstage with Chelsea Green one week. But other than that, Blake Monroe hasn't really done anything at all. Well, she hasn't. Let's put it right there. And at this moment in time, we have Tiffany. She's doing a little thing with Chelsea Green, and they become a team for a little bit. They teamed this last Friday night on SmackDown. Oh, wrong tab. But this could build something for storylines. And I'm all for it, especially your more popular wrestlers like Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton has a huge following. The fans love Tiffany Stratton. And I think this is actually very good for WWE to actually use and implement in what they do on a weekly basis. Like, I believe like Rhea Ripley was on her husband's stream, and I believe her phone case sold for an absurd amount of money. But this is something that can also get eyes on your product as well, because there's a whole other audience out there on Twitch. So I'm all for this. Let me know what you guys think about live streams possibly building storylines for WWE. Like I said, I can personally be looking way too much into this, but for somebody who hasn't officially debuted in front of the live audience, I think that this could do something and lead to a storyline for Blake Monroe. Because when this first happened, I talked about Blake Monroe versus Tiffany Stratton being a money match for WWE. That was the main thing I actually said I wanted. The promos would be great. The match would be great. Blake Monroe has left no crumbs. And whenever she's done something, NXT, she was great. AEW, she was great. She's left no crumbs. And in WWE, I need her with Tiffany Stratton immediately. I think that they will make magic together. And I'm looking forward to what they can actually do together. So let me know what you guys think about live streams potentially becoming leads to storylines. Now, Rhea Ripley, how injured is Rhea Ripley? So Rhea Ripley, she has been missing in action for the last couple of weeks, and it is being reported that she is reportedly injured. And to make us think it's a tad bit serious, this was the previous Night of Champions poster, and she has now been replaced by Tiffany Stratton on an updated poster. So that leads us to believe and speculate that she is more injured than what we actually been led to. And that puts a lot up in the air, especially for SummerSlam, because we are after Night of Champions, we're on the road to SummerSlam for the most part. And that leads a lot of intrigue about what can actually happen in WWE leading to SummerSlam, because we do have the Queen in the Ring tournament going on right now. And Io Sky, she is awaiting the winner of the Liv Morgan Charlotte Flair match on SmackDown Friday night. But where would that leave the WWE Women's Championship? Now, if Rhea can't go, I do think that if Rhea can't go, I personally would do this. I personally would have Charlotte lose to Liv Morgan on Friday night. And whatever way you crown the champion, I think you have Charlotte win it. And we were also getting information about what JC Jane was going to do, and they were flirting with the idea of having JC Jane go against Rhea at SummerSlam, because I think Io Sky will win the women's championship at the Queen of the Ring next weekend. But the rumor going around is they've been flirting with the idea of having JC Jane face Rhea at SummerSlam, and I was all for it, because as you guys know that I am a huge JC Jane fan, maybe her number one fan, other than her boyfriend and her parents. But I'm not against this at all. And if you guys do this right now, I don't think it's the best idea, because I want them to treat this essentially to how they treated the whole Liv storyline. Because when Rhea got hurt a couple years ago after WrestleMania 40, what I wanted them to do was prolong Liv's victory, which they did. They gave it to Becky in that Battle Royal, but Liv would end up getting it a month later, which was fine, because that prolonged her story and gave her storyline some more legs. I think the end game can be JC, which I do believe it would be, but let that drag out some more before you put the title on her, so it's more meaningful. So the thing that she ends up doing up to that point have legs, and it tells a better story, just like it did when Liv did it. Like I said, we still do not have a bunch of information on the situation with Rhea, but in the upcoming weeks, I guess we'll get it. But the fact that she's been taken off the poster for Night of Champions makes me think that this injury is more serious than what it is led to be. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. We'll see you guys in the next one about that. Now, does anybody remember the infamous Intercontinental Championship being thrown in the river? So recently, this belt has been found. If you guys do not remember, in December of 1997, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was injured at the time, was the Intercontinental Champion, relinquished the championship to The Rock, and he would throw the title into a river. And recently, that championship belt has been found by someone and is now in the hands of a belt maker and belt collector. So in that person who owns the belt, he was on Conrad's podcast, Something to Wrestle with JBL, and he discussed how he got the belt and the lineage on it. So let's check out the infamous river belt being found. Fair use.
But I think we've got a story that nobody will believe. John, I'm sure you remember this moment, and Tony, you're a big wrestling fan from way back. I think we've answered one of wrestling's great mysteries. If you go back to the winter of 1997, I'm sure you'll recall, once upon a time, Steve Austin got dumped on his head.
Wait a minute. I don't remember the 90s. I lived it. They say if you really lived in the 90s, you don't remember it. And, I did well. So anyway, go ahead. I'll take your word for it.
In late 1997, you'll probably recall, Steve Austin was not able to wrestle. So they had to come up with fun stuff to keep him on TV. That's when he started hitting the stunner on Sergeant Slaughter and even Vince McMahon in Madison Square Garden. But he was the Intercontinental Champion. Even though he couldn't walk, he did still beat Owen Hart for the Intercontinental title. But then if you'll recall, Mr. McMahon made him relinquish that title to a guy known as The Rock. And this was really the first time we saw Steve Austin and The Rock. What just happened to Tony?
He didn't like that Wisconsin joke.
Oh.
He must be from Wisconsin. You're on your right. Tony, I apologize about Wisconsin. I didn't. I was just kind of half kidding. I say half kidding because it's Hornswoggle. He's half anything. Unless you tried to pick him up, anything he's Andre the Giant.
What do we do here, Silva?
shoot ourselves in the face.
Tony, whatever you just did, we lost the video and it looks stupid. So we'll start over again. Don't do that again, please. God damn. I'm going to hang myself.
Turn it sideways. Turn your phone sideways again and just leave it.
All right. How's that?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So he handed it over to The Rock. And then go from there.
Okay.
And
you just cover us up.
Yeah.
So, John, as you'll recall, when Steve Austin was forced to relinquish the Intercontinental title, he didn't want to do that willingly. So if you'll recall, he went out and he found a bridge and he threw the belt off the bridge and said, Rock, if you want it, just go get it. And he threw the title belt off the bridge into the river. And we thought we would never see that title belt ever again. Little did we know that somehow, some way, we found it. Ron, what in the world is going on? Chat me up. Tell me about this find and what the real story is. What happened?
All right. So if you guys caught that image, when Austin's holding the belt, he's holding it backwards. So if he's holding it backwards, you're not able to see what championship it is. And he will continue on to tell us what championship belt that actually was.
Okay, I didn't know a whole lot about the belt. I was actually in the Army at the time, so we watched through the barracks. But years later, a good friend of mine, Adam, came to me and he said, hey, Ron, could you do me a favor and verify that this is a Reggie Parks? And I took a look at it and immediately knew that this is definitely a Reggie Parks. He said, it's pretty beat up. I said, well, most likely it's ring used, and I offered him an undisclosed amount to go buy it. He went and found it on Facebook Marketplace for such a low amount that I'm ashamed to even say it.
Facebook Market,
from
guys.
there,
Sheesh.
He shipped me the belt, and I took a good look at it. It has dry rot all over it, almost as though it was soaking in salt water or something. So I immediately started to contact the people that sold it, and it turned out that it was like a guy's landlord who didn't know what it was. So she looked up tag belt on eBay and put it up there for this god awful low amount. So I said, could you tell me a little bit about this belt? And she said, why? Is there some kind of value to it? I said, I don't really know. I'm just trying to do some research. And she said, well, the guy that used to own it was my next door neighbor. And he saw this thing get thrown off a bridge and he went and fished it out. He tried to sell it or barter with WWE for a job, and they told him, just go ahead and keep the belt.
That's interesting.
So that's when I really started to deep dive into.
That's interesting. The fact that he tried to hold it over their heads for a job, and they don't have the WWE, the treasure show anymore. But this is something I think that they would actually be looking for and be sought after for them if they still had that treasure show. Let's continue.
Belt bridge. And I found the Stone Cold video where he's making just some hilarious comments. Throw your belt off a bridge, Rock. Here's some swimmers. I know y'all can't swim. And it just kept spinning out of control. And I was like, this is crazy. There's no way this is the right belt. But the lady just confirmed it. And then I spent a tremendous amount of time trying to find out whether it was held by Foley as a tag belt, whether it was held by Yokozuna. It was right. The Islanders, was it the Wild Samoans or something like that?
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about where we are. As a reminder, John, and I think you'll remember this name, this belt was made by Reggie Parks, and he is considered to be like the godfather of professional wrestling belts. He's no longer with us. He's long since passed, but almost everyone who makes professional wrestling belts today was inspired at some point by Reggie Parks. And he has probably the most iconic library of art.
He does.
Of course, we all remember the Winged Eagle title like Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan and everybody else held. They also have the Intercontinental title like The Rock held, and that's where the logo plate used to be. So it would have had the WWF logo and it would have said tag team underneath. It's no longer there, but this is very clearly a Reggie belt. You can tell by the clamshell style tooling there, and even the way the snap box has been beveled out. But what's really interesting and makes this one unique, almost a tell, if you will, is the tip of the belt. Not a lot of the tag belts had that side plate combination. This may be the only set, but this particular tip, this is unique to this belt as well. You didn't see this a ton. This is a pretty rare belt, Ron, and you make these belts for a living. We should mention you've made a ton of belts that guys see on TV these days, like AEW, I know, is a regular customer of yours. Oh, I love seeing that there's a little bit of damage to the leather there on the left of the side plate. Chat me up. Ron, you've had this belt for a while now. What are some other unique characteristics about this belt that make it unique to Reggie Parks or just that era in general?
Well, there's certain things that Reggie always did with his belts, like the way he always takes the double. Let me see if I can get that in there right. The way he takes the double G's down into that line at the bottom.
Right, I see that. Yeah.
So when people try to duplicate that, they always seem to mess that up. But also just the way overall he does his snap box in a shape that's very unique. It can't be done with some kind of a pressing plate stamp, which a lot of the guys are using now.
So that's done by hand, right, Ron?
Oh, absolutely. Reggie's like you said, he is the belt god. He's the guru. So if you want to learn how to make a belt properly, that's the first thing you want to do is basically take apart Reggie, study it, and learn from him. He's the greatest.
I hate to ask you to do this, but since we're live and I just want to know, can you hold it up again? It looks like the main plate is separating a little bit from the leather. How many of those bolts are broken? That's pretty cool.
It's actually right here.
That's really cool.
The leather has cracked so bad that it is separated, and the only thing holding it together right there is the backing.
Wow.
You can see the bolts on the back, and then it has another area like that over here that's not as bad through there.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it's just an amazing piece. To me, this is, obviously you have the greatest belt in the world, but to me, this is the greatest belt in my collection. Even though I have ring used tags, ring used world heavyweight, and the ring used bling 1577.
Un solo plan, un solo precio. Presentamos Simplicity de Verizon.
There's nothing like exclusive access to unique experiences worldwide.
Well, it's fantastic to take a look at this piece of history. As a reminder, this was a ring-used tag belt that the company was willing to sacrifice and just seemingly be lost forever. And I think we've been able to track the side plates back all the way back to the Islanders, or the head shrinkers, I guess we would call them at the time. These are those.
That's what I meant.
And you can see, if you notice, the belt on the right, it's missing the logo plate. Great job on our producer Silva here on identifying it. So right there, you prove not only does it have some Stone Cold history, does it have some Rock history. This is the Samoan dynasty. John, what do you think seeing this belt after all these years? How cool is this story?
I think it's incredible. I'd like to hear more about the guy who found it. Did he really? How deep was it? Did he scuba dive and go get it? I mean, it seems crazy, but remember, like one of the U.S. Opens or whatever it was, somebody had thrown the golf ball that they won with in the water, and the whole fans everybody goes diving in after it. I'm surprised more fans didn't go try to go down. This angle's pretty old. This is what Paul Jones was one of the first to do this in '72, I think, or early '70s with Jack Briscoe in Florida. They shut down the freaking bridge that he was going to throw the belt off of. Then they did the same angle out in the West Coast with, I think, Playboy Buddy Rose, a ripoff of the Jack Briscoe angle. So this was all, and of course you got a Jerry Briscoe in the office at WWE, and you come up with throwing the belt off the bridge angle. I wonder where it came from. It's a pretty cool storyline. I just always thought it was whatever happened to these belts. They're at the bottom of something. Was it a scuba diver that went and got it wrong? Was that how they got it?
The way I understand it, he lived very local, within a few miles of the bridge, and he saw it on TV live, and he rushed right on down there, jumped right on in, and I don't know how long it took him to find it. He did tell the whole story to the lady that lived next door to him, and she actually, once she got the belt and his belongings when he left the residence, she didn't know what happened to him at that point. So I kind of let the story end right there for that part. And I started researching the tags by looking at the tips and the placement of the side plates to see if I could pinpoint exactly when it was used. I was kind of hoping it was Mick Foley's or Stone Cold's tag when they tag teamed together. And I apologize in advance. I forgot my APA shirt.
That's okay. But I appreciate you mentioning it. Thank you very much.
So that's always something that's kind of cool with these belts. You know, there's subtle details that you guys can go back to when it comes to these belts. Like you said, like the missing plate that's supposed to say WWF Tag Team, where you can photo match and go back to when it was actually used and things like that. So that's a pretty cool thing when it comes to these championship belts. There's always some kind of marks or damage or something that's you can tell where and who held that championship.
You know, it's just amazing to me. You got a company now worth what, $14 or $15 billion in TKO, the combined merger of WWE and UFC and PBR and everything else that's involved, and they don't even have an extra belt. They use some old tag belt that's missing plates off of it. It's pretty shocking how few things we had back then.
It's really cool to me to see this belt after all these years. We know for sure that it's ring used. We know for sure that it has a lineage going back to at least 1993, maybe more than that. But when you think about The Rock and Stone Cold, I mean, those are the two definitive stars of this era. Isn't that right, John?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, I've never seen anything like those two stars when they got hot. When Steve got hot, any building you put his name on it sold out. That went from we're not selling tickets anywhere to selling out literally anywhere in the world with Stone Cold. And then The Rock was just as hot. I mean, it was insane that time. We were selling out everywhere we were in the world. And those two guys were directly responsible.
It's pretty phenomenal to know that not only does it have the actual tag team history, but believe it or not, the most iconic trilogy in WWE history, because we had not one, not two, but three WrestleMania almost main events. Two of the three were for sure. And certainly Austin's last match, what we felt like would be the last match, were Austin and The Rock. Knowing that it has the tag team lineage of the Quebecers, the Head Shrinkers, and others, Tony, but also too, really the first substantial angle and moment between these two iconic characters, The Rock and Stone Cold. But more importantly, what a cool story. I mean, this is a belt that was seemingly lost to time for nearly 30 years. Now we found it. It's the only belt of the WWF era, which we all know is probably the most valuable commodity. If you're going to have the WWF attached to it, who else would you want besides Stone Cold and The Rock? It's the River Belt. Tony, if you had to venture a guess, what do you think this would be worth?
Well, there's a lot of angles here that you'll be pulling from. I say it all the time in the memorabilia business and the memorabilia hobby. A lot of times you're buying the piece, but you're also buying the story. And with this one, you're exactly right. Anything related to Stone Cold and with The Rock is going to have, that you're talking Monday night. Where you're really pulling from a lot of angles here. And having that moment, I remember when it happened. Of course, I never thought about the belt. I never thought about whatever happened to it. But because it's Stone Cold, it's The Rock, and there's a good history behind it, I would say my first guess was 75 to 100,000. It could do more. One thing that I was wondering what it's going to look like. It's not in that bad of condition either.
It's not.
You would think it would look just terrible, but yes, there's some pulling away, but visually it looks really good. And I think in that 75 to $100,000 range, could it do more? Absolutely, because there's not enough belts out there. There's a substantial history with this one. And when you've got, Dave doing the great work with the missing plate, the Head Shrinkers having this, being a WWF belt, you're buying the story as well as buying the piece. It wouldn't shock me if it hit six figures. And you know what? The negative that people would most likely associate is, yeah, but it was in the water. It's not in that bad of condition.
That adds to
be, to go through what it did go through. Phenomenal piece. And again, Stone Cold, anything with Stone Cold in it, especially from that time period, is going to be instantly very recognizable and is going to have great value.
If I'm honest with you, if I were in the market for this belt, and Lord knows this is a belt that I looked for years and years, I would want it to be ragged around. I would want it to show some patina. I want it beaten up. Because if this is the river belt, I need it to look like a river belt. If I need a nice pretty belt, there's plenty of those out there that are for sale. I want the one that was thrown off a bridge by Stone Cold Steve Austin, where he told Rock to run get it. I thought this is such a great story. I'm not surprised to hear you say it's a 6-figure belt. Ron, what do you think? Do you think this is a 6-figure belt? How do you feel hearing that?
I mean, it really comes down to who really connects with that moment. Like, I think there's a moment for all of us on why we love wrestling. You know, for me, it's probably Backlund and the Iron Sheik and Tony Atlas. For you, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a moment that ties us to it. So whoever gets really tied to that moment, that huge Rock fan, that huge Stone Cold fan, I mean, I would think that someone probably would be in the 100 to 200K price range, but that's just me. I mean, and by the way, I was a huge APA fan. We need to give them more credit.
Thank you very much.
Well,
you got it. I had the shirts. I loved it. I was like, you guys are a comedic relief.
All right, so that was something to wrestle with Conrad and JBL with the owner of the River Belt, and like they talked about, definitely a huge grab and definitely well over 6 figures in my opinion. You will want it with the wear and tear on it because, like Conrad said, I want it to look like a river belt and like it was actually down in the water. So let me know what you guys think about the river belt story and what did that moment mean to you guys? So let me know what you guys think about that. So our final story tonight. So we have WWE superstar Chelsea Green. She is being casted in a horror movie. And this is where she is breaking the news.
Spoiler, I film in a couple of weeks. It's gory as hell. I just want to get out there and do it and build a resume, but I just got to roll in a horror film. My favorite genre. Spoiler! Tell us more while we're here. Spoiler! I film in a couple of weeks.
All right, so that's Chelsea Green. She broke the news about she got cast into a horror film. The movie is called The Red Wedding, and the synopsis for the movie is the film's plot follows a teenager and her stepmother who are taken for ransom only to encounter a homicidal bride and groom operating a killing spree at the same remote location. As of now, as Chelsea's role has not been known and will come out later at a later date. So Chelsea Green, who would have known Chelsea Green potentially might be that next big transition star that we've been talking about wrestling needs. Also in that movie, Chelsea Green will be alongside Rory Culkin, who is the brother of Macaulay Culkin. You might know him from Scream 4, looks just like Macaulay Culkin. And also Lauren Lavera will also be the other big name attached to this film. Now, so when it comes to Chelsea Green, she can be that next transition star. Chelsea Green, the second that woman is on television, everybody's eyes are glued. There's no wrong that woman could do. You can give that woman 10 seconds and it'll be the most memorable 10 seconds of the show. You can give her 20 seconds, the most memorable 20 seconds of the show. Whatever time you want to give her, you're going to remember exactly what Chelsea Green did. And Chelsea Green is probably the most unsung hero of WWE. She has been such a delight for them to have. And I hope she really gets her just due down the road and gets a super massive push, even though she doesn't necessarily care about that. She always talks about she wants to be like the female Miz. And that's a great thing because the Miz was a jack of all trades, and so is Chelsea Green. There's nothing that Chelsea Green cannot do. And I hope this role brings more roles to her and possibly even seeing her in bigger movies and entertainment because the woman deserves. The woman is attention-grabbing, beautiful woman, and also amazing at her job, and the most entertaining thing on television that we have in WWE by far. No matter what you give her, she makes it work. She makes those trick or treat fights work. Dressing up as Cactus Jack, the Secret Harvest, the stuff she's doing right now with Tiffany Stratton, she could work. And this is all like fun stuff she's doing, but she could also have a serious role to her. We saw it in her many indie runs, working with her husband, something that we might want to see her do in WWE. We might want to see a serious heel run out of her in WWE, because I personally think that she'll end up turning on Tiffany Stratton, and we get a WUS championship feud out of that. And we can get the serious Chelsea Green coming out of that, because she has reasonings for that. Is because, look, you didn't want to be my friend. I try to be your friend, and you kind of like shoot me off, and eventually did. But what I'll be saying, I'm looking forward to seeing Chelsea Green in the Red Christmas. Oh, I'm sorry, Red Wedding. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hope she has a prominent role in that movie, because I'm definitely intrigued and see what Chelsea can actually do in a movie, because she even posts on her IG all her acting reels and her practicing and things like that. So definitely looking forward to seeing what Chelsea Green does. Chelsea Green is definitely somebody that I would definitely take a good follow to and see what she actually does when she starts to promote this movie and when the movie actually does come out. So that is it for the stream, guys. I'm sorry about the technical difficulty I had for a second. I'm going to have to edit that one out. So as always, guys, thumbs up, turn your post notifications, and subscribe. So I'm Alo Aaron Lloyd. I will see you guys soon.
Got him now, put him down right now, hit him with the palm handle. Tuning up the band, y'all don't understand. Fist of Superman, it's a SummerSlam. Here we go again. Fans marking man, I hate my balls. Shut the Vince McMahon, it ain't safe to land off the cell. Fans love it, ain't hard to tell. Talking madness, awesome. Well, what I'm cooking, man, y'all off the smell.